Kieran crouched down behind a tall stone crypt and readied her flail in her hand. Her breathing was slow and steady. It wasn't the first time she'd been attacked, nor the first time she'd had to spill blood because of her past. She scanned the area around her with big brown eyes that darkened to almost black when she was mad. She was a petite woman, but muscular from years of fighting. Though magic was her preferred weapon, she wasn't above using brute force if necessary. Her long brown hair was tied into a thick braid that fell down her back and brushed the back of her knees, and a thin scar ran along the side of her face. She was beautiful, but hid behind lowered hoods and kept to the shadows. She took offense to being thought of or called beautiful. In her world, beauty was something that could easily get you killed, and most who flaunted it were brainless and dim-witted. Beautiful women were sold as wives or bartered for the lives of the family. She heard footsteps approaching, footsteps of the Shadowmere Consortium. They'd been following her for the past 6 years, ever since she had escaped from their slavery. Since her escape, they sought her out as a lost prized possession. They'd spent years honing her magic and turning her into a powerful sorcerer, and the Shadowmere never let such time and money go to waste. They had use of her abilities, and her capture was their main focus. "Come out, little one," a gruff voice called loudly. Wayman was the head apprehender for the Shadowmere Consortium, and was the first to find her trail into this new dimension. "You can't hide from us anymore. You're cornered here." Kieran looked around carefully, searching for any sign that a portal was near. Her innate ability to dimension shift had kept her alive for the 6 years she had spent on the run, but first she had to find a key to open the portal. The Shadowmere weren't natural dimension shifters, but were quickly learning some of the portal ways. This dimension was full of the dead, a place dimension shifters used to hide the bodies of loved ones, so the undead consortium, the Nosata, wouldn't find them and use their corpses as minions. Beautifully carved headstones and elaborately decorated tombs filled the dimension, and the smell of death was strong on the wind. "She's here," Wayman said to another of the Shadowmere. "Aye, she is." "Kieran, you can't hide from us anymore. Micah has promised you won't be punished if you'll turn yourself over to us. We won't hurt you." Kieran knew it was a lie. The Shadowmere were master torturers and punished for even the smallest crime. Most of their devoted minions were tortured into submission, and Kieran had spent many nights in their torture rooms. It was during one of their brutal tortures that her magic began to form, and also when the Shadowmere found out that their indentured slave was more than just a new servant, she was a weapon. Micah, leader of the Shadowmere Consortium, oversaw Kieran's training and personally watched over her daily life. It was rumored that he was going to add her to his concubine when she became of age, but when she ran from him at the young age of 11, she was still a year away from that. Hiding, she was reminded of that night 6 years ago when she first saw the shiny coin on the ground. At first she ignored it. She had more on her mind at the time than scavenging lost coins from the ground. She'd just escaped from Micah's room, where his training had turned more into a personal nature, and her instinct to run kicked in. Using forbidden magic, she got away, and had hidden from the Shadowmere's apprehension crews in a small graveyard outside of the city. By the time the Shadowmere passed, she realized she would need money to find transportation away from the city and away from Micah and his crews. She also worried that the Clemency Consortium would be after her for breaking the laws. Their name was a far cry from their true nature, and they had appointed themselves the enforcers of the laws. Breaking the laws of magic restriction was punishable by death, and Kieran had used magic to get away from Micah's unwanted advances. All magic was banned by the Clemency Consortium because it was unnatural and seemed evil to the self-proclaimed Consortium of Mercy. As soon as the 11-year-old had picked up the coin, the doorway appeared in front of her. It wasn't like any doorway she'd seen. It was more of an outline, a tall rectangular outline that shone brightly in the night. Though almost blinding, it caused nothing to cast a shadow and didn't seem to draw the attention of anyone nearby. It opened slowly, and beyond it Kieran had seen a new land, one covered in dead fields and dry wastelands.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.